Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
Here's John and Heidi.
Today is a special day, Heidi. Do you know what today is?
What is today, John?
I thought you'd never ask, Heidi. It is Thursday, the 8th day of August, International Cat Day today. Our dog thinks she's a cat. We have a dog that's been meowing lately.
She makes the weirdest noises.
Thing. National Happiness Happens Day today. Oh, I like that. Digital No Bad Day today. Global Sleep Under the Stars Night coming up tonight. It is Pickleball Day. I've got several friends that do that.
Yeah.
Zucchini Day. It's also National Sneak Some Zucchini Onto Your Neighbor's Porch Day. Frozen Custard Day. National Dollar Day. Day to Create. And Top 8 Challenge Day. That's just a tiny little sampling of all the things that are happening on this Thursday. It's also a Thursday, which means we have a Dear John letter to get to. And our letter today is a young lady who is potentially, maybe, moving in with her boyfriend, but she's got some questions. You can chime in with advice at facebook.com/John and Heidi Show.
Charlie has Parkinson's. Recently, Charlie started wearing a bracelet from Vitatech Healing.
I'm an avid golfer, and I was going to give it up this year. I just deteriorated that much. Now I'm back to golfing, enjoying it, having a good time. I just can't stress enough how good it is.
Click on radiosavings.com to hear more of Charlie's story and find out how Vitatech Healing is helping others with ADHD, fibromyalgia, autism, and more. Plus, find radio-only savings by clicking the link at radiosavings.com. That's radiosavings.com.
Now, surveys and studies and such brought to you by BetterCreditCards.com. New research out of Scotland says that cyclists have a 47% chance, a lower risk rather, of early death and 10% lower risk of hospitalization for any reason. Than commuters who drive or take the train. The study followed more than 82,000 UK residents over 18 years, ranged in age from 16 to 74 at the beginning of the study. Commuting by bike was associated with a 51% lower risk of dying from cancer and a 24% lower risk of hospitalization for heart disease and 20% lower risk of being prescribed drugs for mental health problems. So what they're saying is if you have a bike, you should use it. Right? We have bicycles and we don't use them.
We've not used them
we should
ever.
probably get those out and see if they work and stuff. Yeah. Surveys and studies and such brought to you by BetterCreditCards.com.
If you want a better credit card, it can be easy and not so hard. BetterCreditCards.com. Earn more points or get more perks. Get what you're looking for in a card that works. BetterCreditCards.com. Give yourself a little credit. BetterCreditCards.com. Give yourself a little credit. BetterCreditCards.com.
That's BetterCreditCards.com.
Did you know? Brought to you by GenesisGoldIRA.com. Heidi, did you know that a few years ago a French scientist had to apologize after tweeting a photo of a slice of chorizo, claiming it was an image of a distant star taken by the James Webb Space Telescope?
That's hilarious.
He posted this online, and he was saying that it was, 42 light years away from us. Thousands of people retweeted it. Then he finally had to go on and say, guys, I was kidding. It is just a slice of chorizo taken against a black background.
That is so funny.
And he said, no object related to Spanish charcuterie exists anywhere other than on Earth. We don't know everything, but now we know this.
John and Heidi.
Now, big screen, little screen, brought to you by radiosavings.com. Someone call HBO for a plumber. For the second season in a row, the season finale for House of Dragon has leaked online. Oh, that's why that plumber.
I see.
I don't understand half of these things.
Yeah, some of those jokes are pretty lame.
14 videos totaling about 30 minutes from the season finale have found their way onto the interweb. How do they not know who's doing this? There's got to be somebody out there that knows who, because when you load these things, there's like a username and stuff, right?
Maybe they don't care enough to find out.
Yeah.
Maybe they were leaking it themselves so that we'd talk about it on the radio.
Probably what's going on. And Rob Lowe, have you heard of him?
Love him.
He's teasing a sequel to the 1985 classic St. Elmo's Fire, almost 40 years after the first film came out.
I just watched that again not too long ago.
I met with the studio, and I've been talking about doing it for like 4 months. He is now 60 years young. He starred alongside Demi Moore and Andrew McCarthy and Judd Nelson, Emilio Estevez, and Ali Sheedy in the original, which followed 7 friends navigating life and friendships after college graduation. So it'd be kind of an interesting thing to see what happened after all that. Big screen, little screen, brought to you by radiosavings.com.
Charlie has Parkinson's. He started wearing a bracelet from Vitatech Healing, and he's noticed a difference, even while sleeping.
Once I got in bed, I couldn't roll over. I couldn't move. I was just whatever position I was in, just a chore to get out of bed. And now everything is so much better.
Click on radiosavings.com to hear more of Charlie's story and find out how Vitatech Healing is helping others with ADHD, fibromyalgia, autism, and more. Plus, find radio-only savings by clicking the link at radiosavings.com. That's radiosavings.com.
Now your scoop of the day comes your way, courtesy of bettercreditcards.com. Okay, girl math, ladies. It's your moment of retribution. An economic expert, what am I saying? An economics expert says that recent social media trends of women making fun of themselves for crazy math that they do when it comes to spending and savings and whatnot, they're not as crazy as they and others might think. In fact, some aspects of girl math are actually fundamentally sound mathematic concepts, says Concordia University economics professor Moshe Lander. For example, a girl math claimed that if I buy an extra item for $100 and wear it 10 times, it only costs me like $10 per wear. He said that's correct. It's an example of an average cost. And he says, notice that toilet paper is 30% off, so you buy a year's supply, and it's a bargain. He said it's a good strategy. What girl math does not fly, where it doesn't fly, is if you think that by underspending on your budget this week, you're going to overspend next week. They say that's where it doesn't work out. That's not good math. But it says it's like being on a diet and saying to yourself that since you didn't use all of your calories this week, you could pig out next week.
Right.
Well, that's not going to work.
Right.
So there you go. Maybe a little bit of good news there. And it's no secret that every moment you spend online, you're being tracked by somebody. Google, Facebook, Amazon are a few of the culprits. But Web X-Ray, a new tool made by a former Google engineer, is trying to help. Web X-Ray is a new search engine that anyone can use to see how websites are tracking you. You can enter a text string like cancer or pregnancy and then see which websites are giving info to Google AdSense. Tim Limbert came up with the idea after he left Google with big concerns about privacy on the web after he worked there, much of what is now illegal. But he said it's still being done by many companies. None that he wants to mention, but he did work at Google. So, Scoop of the day comes your way, courtesy of bettercreditcards.com.
Can your IRA or 401k stand up to the next financial crisis? By allocating a percentage of your retirement into physical gold and silver with a tax-free rollover, you can diversify and safeguard your holdings from turbulent markets and economic downturns. Safeguard your assets with a tax-free rollover with a Genesis Gold IRA, the only IRA that can hold physical precious metals. Protect your retirement today with a simple phone call and receive your free gold and silver guide. Call 1-800-200-GOLD or visit genesisgoldira.com.
And it's time now for
Dear John Letters.
Dear John.
All right, got again, still not a lighthearted, but this is better than the really heavy stuff we've had recently.
Okay.
I think you're going to answer this one right away. Here we go. Dear John, my boyfriend and I are potentially moving in together. We found a place that's bigger than his current place, but it's more expensive too. We couldn't make it work we could make it work if we moved in together, but he makes more money than I do, so should he pay more of the rent? He said we should split the rent 50-50, but I make way less than he does. Shouldn't I pay less? Right now, I live with my parents, and I'm okay staying here. My parents don't really want me to move in with my boyfriend anyway, but it's closer to where I work, and I'm sure I'll be there most of the time anyway, so it just makes sense to me. If I pay half of the rent, though, most of my first paycheck will be gone. I get paid twice a month, and I would have to figure out how to survive on almost nothing for a few weeks each month. Any advice? I asked my parents, and they told me I should just stay living with them, but they're old-fashioned. What do you think? Signed, Broke Girlfriend.
Yeah.
All right. So, Heidi,
Stay living with your parents.
Put on your mama hat for a second.
Yeah.
She's done already. That didn't take long.
I'm done.
Heidi's so old-fashioned. No, here's the thing that I'm going to say. If this is something that you guys have made the decision that you're going to do it, don't let your parents, don't let anybody else get in your way if that's what you want to do. But you need to realize as well, if you're going to play house and you're going to play grown-up and you're going to, do all of this stuff, it's expensive.
It is expensive.
It's very expensive.
Yep.
And I understand where you're trying to go through and make the math make sense. So maybe what you do is you take a little time and save up some money so you'll be in a situation where, because it sounds like she must be living paycheck to paycheck, because she's saying on the first of the month, if I'm giving, you know, that paycheck, most of it is going for rent, then that means she doesn't have anything set aside. And again, it's tough. I've been there. I've been there for sure. Heidi's been there. We've both been there. We understand. You know, so I don't want you to think that we're old fuddy-duddies that are just telling you, you know, listen to your mom and dad, and that's it, end of story.
No, I'm not saying to listen to your mom and dad.
I understand.
I'm just saying
that's a good.
You should be at home and save up as much as you possibly can.
That is a good
option
option
because if you
for
and
now.
your boyfriend stay together and you end up getting married, the money that you can save, you could put towards a down payment on a home that you're purchasing.
And that's the other thing. It says right now that you found a place that's bigger than his current place. It doesn't say, does he have to leave his current place?
Right.
But it's more expensive. So is this a thing where you guys are going, hey, if we do this, we could move in together?
Right.
You know,
maybe
because it sounds to me like this is a
excuse.
problem that you're creating because you're like, oh, but then we would. So again, my advice to him, not that he's asking, I don't have a letter from him. My advice to him would be stay in the cheaper place or find a more affordable place that's closer to where you are so you guys can be close to each other. And like you're saying on here, I'm going to be there most of the time anyway. You know what? It's different though. Just hanging out is completely different than living there.
Yep.
And it really is. And I wish I could say that, you know, when you move out and live on your own, everything gets easier. It's exactly the opposite.
Yep.
Everything gets more difficult because you realize, oh, wow, to turn these lights on every day, someone's got to pay for that. And the water that I use in the shower.
And my shampoo and my soap and the toilet paper.
Yeah. and you go buy your groceries, but then you get home and you're like, oh, wait.
I spent $200. I didn't even get any food. I got laundry detergent. And
I don't have any condiments, so I can have a burger, but I got no ketchup because I didn't think to buy that. There's, again, when you grow up, there's so many things that you don't think of. And I'm not saying that you didn't think of any of this stuff, but you're reaching out to us asking for advice. Mm-hmm. So you're saying, any advice? I asked my parents, I said I should stay living with them. What do you think? Again,
stay with mom and dad.
And I don't know how old she is, so I don't know if she's 36 years old or if she's 16 years old or hopefully not 16, probably more than that. But I have no idea. Again, I don't ask all these things, but here's what I would say. At a certain point, it's going to be awkward for you to be staying home with mom and dad. If you're young enough to be there right now and they're okay with you being there right now.
Well, it sounds like they want her there.
Yeah,
so,
absolutely.
Yeah,
stay.
Ride that gravy train as long as you can.
And don't spend money on silly things right now. Start socking away some money. Save up a couple $1,000. So then when it does come time for you to make this decision for real, you won't have to worry about, my whole first paycheck is gone and I got nothing to live on. You'll be like a whole paycheck ahead. So I would get myself in a good position before I do any of that. But that's my advice. You can chime in at facebook.com/Jon and Heidi Show.
Charlie has Parkinson's. Recently, Charlie started wearing a bracelet from Vitatech Healing.
I'm an avid golfer, and I was going to give it up this year. I just deteriorated that much. Now I'm back to golfing, enjoying it, having a good time. I just can't stress enough how good it is.
Click on radiosavings.com to hear more of Charlie's story and find out how Vitatech Healing is helping others with ADHD, fibromyalgia, autism, and more. Plus, find radio-only savings by clicking the link at radiosavings.com. That's radiosavings.com.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Blue is the most common favorite color worldwide. That's why you see so much blue, apparently. What is your favorite color, Heidi?
I have two, yellow and orange.
Yeah. What's my favorite color, Heidi?
Yours is red.
Yeah. See, you, for the longest time, you thought it was blue.
I did think it was blue.
For our wedding, we had the colors yellow and blue. I'm like, why yellow and blue? She goes, our two favorite colors. I'm like, you like both of those colors? Neither one is mine. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Coffee beans can cure bad breath. Oh, that's a good idea. Just eat some coffee beans.
Just eat coffee beans.
Yeah. Have you ever had one? That's kind of interesting. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
White chocolate is not even chocolate. It's something completely different. They just call it chocolate.
And I don't love it.
I do. Probably too much. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Playing a lullaby to plants can make them grow faster, but they tend to wilt or die if you play heavy music.
Oh.
And our final fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
People who swear a lot are usually more honest than those who don't. Several fun facts. Now you know. Thanks for listening to the Jon and Heidi Show.
If you want a better credit card, it can be easy and not so hard. BetterCreditCards.com. Earn more points and get more perks. Get what you're looking for in a card that works. BetterCreditCards.com. Give yourself a little
That's bettercreditcards.com.
Time now for the Mint Mobile question of the day. It comes your way, courtesy of mintervention.com. Question for you, Heidi. 75% of us say we do this more on vacation than any other time. What is it? I think
Eat dessert.
We do it all the time. Talk to strangers.
Oh, you do that all the time.
I do whether I'm on vacation or just, walking up the street or all the time. I talk to strangers usually.
You do.
Most of the time. Every once in a while I don't, but usually I do. I don't when they look mad. I'm like, I'm just steer clear of that one. Mint Mobile question of the day comes your way, courtesy of mintervention.com.
Charlie has Parkinson's. He started wearing a bracelet from Vitatech Healing, and he's noticed a difference, even while sleeping.
Once I got in bed, I couldn't roll over. I couldn't move. I was just whatever position I was in, just a chore to get out of bed. And now everything is so much better.
Click on radiosavings.com to hear more of Charlie's story and find out how Vitatech Healing is helping others with ADHD, fibromyalgia, autism, and more. Plus, find radio-only savings by clicking the link at radiosavings.com. That's radiosavings.com.
Now, some weird news brought to you by weirdgiftoftheday.com. You've definitely heard people complaining about the rising cost of fast food burgers, right?
Oh my gosh, it's out of control.
And some people are doing things trying to get the price down, or like, oh, we got this $5 special deal.
Yeah,
well,
it all used to be $5.
There's a New York restaurant that's gone the other way. It's a place called the Sip and Guzzle. They offered a $150 cheeseburger. It's served on a golden platter named the Royale with cheese, from Pulp Fiction.
Okay.
Souped Up Sammy was originally described by a food critic as the fanciest cheeseburger you're ever going to eat. And it's exactly what it sounds like. The Royale with cheese has a Wagyu tenderloin that's the highest graded beef in the world, that's been topped with aged white cheddar, seasoned with minced onion and a special wasabi-based barbecue sauce, smoky soy sauce, brown sugar, tomato, rice vinegar, and Seijo Koji, a Japanese condiment. Rather than serving it with a burger bun, it's wrapped with a Chopin milk bread, which is flown in fresh from a bakery in L.A., and it's served in a golden bento-like box. One influencer described the fancy sandwich as cheesy, dreamy, meaty Wagyu goodness. It's a $150 cheeseburger, so I will never know what it tastes like.
No, I won't either.
Even if they gave me one, I don't think I would do it because I'm like, you're only giving it to me, so I try to convince other people to buy one. I don't want to be a part of this scheme.
I don't want to get addicted to them and then have to buy $150 burgers.
No. Weird news brought to you by weirdgiftoftheday.com. Time now for the list, brought to you by bettercreditcards.com. The best careers according to experts. Now, I am not the one telling you this. It's experts. I don't know who these experts are, but here are the top 7 things. What a weird number of things. Pathologist. It's a doctor who diagnoses diseases and whatnot. That's the number 7 best career to have, according to this. 6, information security analyst. That is another one that's apparently a good gig if you can get it. Home health and professional care aide. Our daughter did that for a while. I think she really kind of liked a lot of the job.
Yeah.
Number 4, health specialties teacher. So if you're interested in health and human body, teaching other people about that. Number 3, information systems manager. I know some people who do that. They seem like happy people. Number 2, software engineer. As technology gets more important, there's going to be a bigger demand for that. And the number 1, according to this, best career, according to experts, nurse practitioner. It's a great job for people with plenty of opportunity because they're saying in the next 10 years, as we're getting older, our generation, they're going to need more of these.
They're going to need more of them. Yep.
Wait a minute. Our generation's not getting older. We're getting older? Oh, I guess we are.
Sadly,
The list brought to you by bettercreditcards.com.
Can your IRA or 401k stand up to the next financial crisis? By allocating a percentage of your retirement into physical gold and silver with a tax-free rollover, you can diversify and safeguard your holdings from turbulent markets and economic downturns. Safeguard your assets with a tax-free rollover with a Genesis Gold IRA, the only IRA that can hold physical precious metals. Protect your retirement today with a simple phone call and receive your free gold and silver guide. Call 1-800-200-GOLD or visit GenesisGoldIRA.com.
Time now for the quote of the day. It comes your way, courtesy of radiosavings.com. Our quote today is from Samuel Butler, who said, "Friendship is like money, easier made than kept." Oh, that's too bad when you think about that, because you don't want to think about losing friendship. You know, you want to be friends forever. That's why you don't talk politics on Facebook. So, have you noticed how big of a problem that's been lately?
Oh, that's a problem.
It's not getting better. Not getting better at all. Quote of the day comes your way, courtesy of radiosavings.com.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by the John and Heidi Show. That sounds kind of funny, but it's true. Go to your local radio station and ask them to start carrying the John and Heidi Show. Here's the best part. They can carry the show for free. They play a couple commercials, but it doesn't cost them anything every month. So if you know a radio station that could use a little bit of help, send them our way. Send them to johnandheidishow.com. Again, johnandheidishow.com. We would love to do a radio program in your community. Then you could listen to the podcast and listen to us on the radio.
John and Heidi.
We always like to wrap things up around here with good news, and I think this is good news. It comes your way courtesy of GenesisGoldIRA.com. And I love this story. Rescuer flies into a wildfire to save a family of dogs that were left behind. Aww. So in the midst of the chaotic evacuation because of a raging wildfire, there was a place where there's been some compassion and bravery shown. Wednesday evening, residents were hurried, fleeing to get away from the flames that were coming. Well, one of the things that happened in the midst of all of that is a family had to make a difficult decision to leave behind their dogs and the dogs' puppies. So the owner, deeply concerned for their pets, provided the responder with the truck's location. However, the area was engulfed in flames. Undeterred, Trevor Skaggs, a dedicated member of the sheriff's office there, sprang into action, and he flew to this perilous area. Upon landing, he embarked on a grueling 1.5-mile run to reach the stranded animals, where he arrived and found the mother Rottweiler and her puppies alive but exhausted and extremely thirsty. Heartbreakingly, the puppy's father had not survived the ordeal. So then he had to take this dog and the puppies 1.5 miles back to the helicopter.
Oh my gosh,
and
that guy's a hero.
Courageous team was then flown to safety. Again, these dogs are under the care of the Northern Valley Disaster Group, receiving attention and love that they need after the harrowing experience. I cannot even imagine. And the family felt horrible that they were not able to take the dogs, but they were trying to get out. Their vehicle was stuck, and then they got a ride from someone else, but they couldn't take the dogs. I mean, that would be a tough decision to make.
Yeah, that's rough.
I don't know what I would do. I think I would say, I'm waiting for the next ride, actually. Thanks. You just go ahead. I don't know. Wouldn't that be tough?
Yeah.
That would be so tough. All right. I've got a link to that story if you want to read it. It is in the show notes for today at johnandheidishow.com. Time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. Have a great day. Thank you for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Thursday.